Vande Gurunish Bhaktan Isha Ishvatarkan Tat Prakasham Cha Tat Shaktihi Krishna Balaram Samjanakam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, unto the devotees of the Lord, unto Lord's incarnations, unto his plenary potions, and unto his energies, and unto Sri Sri Krishna Balaram. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Davide. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshe Tarine Vancha Kalpa Tharuvayascha Kripa Sindhu Bhevacha Patitanam Panibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Guru Paramananda, Premananda, Falaprada, Vrajananda, Pradhananda, Sevayamam Niyojaya. My dear spiritual master, who gives the fruit of the highest bliss, the bliss of love of Godhead, please engage me in the service of Sri Sri Krishna Balaram, who gives bliss to the land of Vraja. Vaishnavacharan Mora Ye Namaskama Bhaje Na Janme Janme Krishna Balarama. At the lotus feet of all the Vaishnavas, my only prayer and humble request is, please grant me the blessing so that I may save Sri Sri Krishna Balaram life after life, birth after birth. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna everyone. Today we will be discussing about Sripad Nityananda Prabhu, whom many of us as devotees of ISKCON and part of Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya know, but many of us who don't have much faith and Shraddha in Nityananda Prabhu. So hopefully this will increase your love and affection for Nityananda Prabhu, because Nityananda Prabhu is Balaramji himself, and Sri Balaramji is the Adi Guru. And without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, we cannot get Krishna Balaram Prem or Radha Krishna or even Jagannath Baldev Subhadra or any of the Vishnu Tattva. We cannot approach them. We can't even approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. So we'll just go through a basic biography of Sriman Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Nityananda Prabhu appeared in the month of Magha around the year 1474 AD in a small village of Ekachakra, situated in the Birbhum district of West Bengal. As a child, he was called Nitai and had a close circle of friends. Together, they used to imitate the pastimes of Krishna and his associates. The adults of Ekachakra were fascinated by this unique little boy and loved him as their own. Seeing his total absorption in avatars of Krishna, they suspected that he might be some sort of incarnation himself. Day after day, he would enact a different pastimes, just like the avatar of Vishnu, Krishna's 10 other incarnations. He would perform the leelas of Nrsimha, of Lord Ramachandra, of Lord Vamanadev. So, and everyone would be astonished to see how he could do everything so perfectly. Day after day, he would enact different pastimes and did it so skillfully that his neighbors wondered, how is it that he is so talented? How does he know these stories so well? No one has explained all these details to him. On one occasion, one of the boys who was dressed like a Krura when they were doing this drama and took Krishna Balaram away from Vrindavan on the order of Kamsa. When seeing this part of the drama, Nitai cried in grief, feeling the separation of the cowherd boys and girls from Krishna. Tears of love flowed from his eyes. His acting was so authentic that it made all who watched question whether he was merely acting or in some way experiencing the part he played. Why was he feeling so much intense love? Because he himself was there in Braja when this thing had happened. This was true whether he was playing Krishna, Balaram, or even Vamana in other incarnations of the Lord. When questioned, Nitai would respond. When people would ask, Nitai, how do you know all these leelas so nicely? And Nitai's reply would be, these are my own divine pastimes, and I am allowing you to see them. And people would, because he was a child, people wouldn't take it seriously for him. Among his most convincing roles was that of Lakshmana, the younger brother of Lord Ramachandra, who is expansion of Lakshmana, who Balramji, who expanded as Lakshmana, which intimated his divine identity as Balaram. For his first 12 years, Nityananda Prabhu stayed in Ekachakra and shared loving pastimes with his neighbors. Traveling on pilgrimage just before his 13th birthday, however, a traveling mendicant came to his home and was welcomed by his father, because his father, whose name was Adai Pandit, or sometimes known as Adai Oja, was a real grasta. Grastas, for a real grasta, Grahamedis are not very welcoming. They live for only their own blood relatives. But for grastas, everyone on this planet is their family. That is a real grasta. So Adai Pandit welcomed him with deep respect and hospitality. Adai Pandit offered his eminent guest all that he had. He said, please feel free to take whatever you like, he said. My home is your home. The visiting asceti explained that his was a simple life and that his needs were minimal. However, he said he needed a traveling companion, and young Nitai would be an appropriate person for such a service. Nitai was eager, and reluctantly Adai Pandit agreed to let his son go. This kind of incident happened many times. Even in Lord Ramachandra's time, Ramachandra and Lakshman were taken away by Vishwamitra also, and Dashrath Maharaj wouldn't want to let them go. I also experienced something very similar, but then things changed. In my case, it was me who was supposed to go and build a temple in Dwarka by His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami Maharaj. But then later on he realized that I had a 3-year-old son, so he said, it's better you stay and bring him up. That is more important. So Nitai traveled from holy place to holy place for the next 20 years until he was 32. So he spent 12 years traveling around the holy places, purifying the holy places. Receiving instruction and friendship from his elderly sannyasi companion, he journeyed the length and breadth of India and sanctified the subcontinent by his presence. As Nitai continued to travel, feeling the ecstasy of these sacred places, he more and more took on the character of an avadhuta, a spiritually elevated person who is aloof from material surroundings and appears crazy to the uninformed. Avadhuta is beyond rules and regulations, but in case of Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balram, he himself owns everything, so there is no rules and regulation apply to him in Gauranga Mahaprabhu anyway. His mode of activity and general behavior became increasingly unexplainable. No one could understand what motivated him or why he behaved in certain ways. For example, he sometimes danced ecstatically with the cloth meant to cover his loins wrapped instead around his head. Sometimes he would take his undergarments out and wrap it around his head, and he would just dance Gaura Hari, Hari Bol, and Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In Pandrapura, present-day Maharashtra, Nityananda Prabhu met the saintly Guru Lakshmipati Tirtha. Lakshmipati Tirtha. It is said that Lakshmipati Tirtha was given intense dreams about Lord Balaram, and when he met Nityananda, he was convinced that this beautiful young personality was none other than Balaram himself. See, this point is also very, very important to understand, because many, especially among Indian communities, they accept any Tom, Dick, Harry as Bhagwan, avatar of incarnation of God. You know, little bhabhuti, little this, little that, some kind of magic tricks, and people just go crazy. See, here someone with knowledge of Vedic Shastra, knowledge from the Guru Parampara, could understand how to verify who is an incarnation. So they soon developed a deep devotional relationship. According to some authorities, Lakshmipati initiated Nityananda Prabhu, at this time giving him the student name Swarupa. Lakshmipati's most famous disciple was Madhvendra Puri, who received direct instructions and gifts from the deity of Gopinath. Because Madhvendra Puri was his senior, Nityananda Prabhu always treated him as though he were his spiritual master. This is an etiquette, this is Vaishnava etiquette, where seniors are meant to be respecting junior devotees are meant to be respecting senior devotees, and senior devotees meant to respect juniors and guide them. Soon Nityananda Prabhu reached Braja or Vrindavan, the land of Krishna. His ecstasy increased 1,000,000 times. Here 1,000,000 times, this word 1,000,000 times is only to make our limited sense understand by giving a tag, giving a number, but that ecstasy is unfathomable. We cannot really understand the extent of that ecstasy. Visiting many places associated with Krishna's pastime, he shouted, danced, rolled around, laughed, and howled like a madman. With overwhelming intensity, he cried out, "Where is Krishna? Where is my life and soul?" As these words emanated from his anxious lips, he shivered uncontrollably, and tears of love poured from his eyes like torrents of rain. This is bhava. At that moment, he had startling inner vision of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was already missing him very, very badly, who had completed his childhood pastimes and was now overtly engaged in his mission. This realization made Nityananda more affectionate and more appreciative of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and his intense desire grew to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. With affection for his spiritual brother, and so from Shringarvat he proceeded to Navdeep to join Mahaprabhu in his pastimes. See, the love between Krishna and Balaram, Gaura and Nitai, is inseparable love. We may not understand it. No matter what happens, they may seem to be here and there, sometimes going away, sometimes going here. There is so many descriptions when Nityananda Prabhu would do kirtan. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Jagannath Puri would go and appear in Nityananda Prabhu's kirtan in Navadvipa. So they are inseparable. Nityananda Prabhu, who has a single pearl suspended from one of his ears, who is the elder brother of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and who is the purifier of the world. Then Nityananda Prabhu made up his mind that okay, now Mahaprabhu is beckoning him. It's now time to go and fulfill the plans they had, because of which they have descended onto this planet, to give Yugadharma to the whole universe, to the whole planet. The year was 1506, and after 8 years traveling through dense forest in a trance-like state of devotion, Nityananda Prabhu reached the land of Nadia, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu resided. When the two lords finally saw each other for the first time, they were immediately overtaken by waves of ecstasy. This is love. This is when you have two magnets come close to each other, they just pull to each other automatically. So this was their affection. This was the kind of pull they had to each other. Nitai was roughly 32 years old and Mahaprabhu was 20. They each felt that their lives were now perfectly complete. Embracing, they cried what seemed like rivers of ecstasy. Nityananda Prabhu, who is identical with Lord Balaram, the first expansion of Krishna, is considered to be the original Guru, the Adi Guru, from who all the Gurus get their strength from, is from Balaramji, from Nityananda Ram. For all of mankind, original Guru for all of mankind. And original Guru of the entire creation. Thus, soon after the initial meeting, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tried to honor Nityananda Prabhu with a Vyasa Puja worship ceremony, befitting a great spiritual master, because he was his grand guru. However, Nityananda Prabhu protested and grabbed all of the worship articles from Mahaprabhu and worshipped Mahaprabhu instead. Nityananda Prabhu kept repeating, Nimai Pandit is my Lord and Master. Nimai Pandit is my Lord and Master. He would go crazy saying this. Nimai Pandit is another name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born under a neem tree, so he got nicknamed as Nimai. Their transcendental love for one another is indescribable. The words cannot describe the love of Krishna and Balaram, that they have the love among themselves, and Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Mahaprabhu left Navadvip for Jagannath Puri. Nityananda Prabhu was always at his side. The two biographers, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur and Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, clearly assert that Nityananda Prabhu holds the key to Mahaprabhu's heart. If you want to approach Krishna, if you want to approach Mahaprabhu, you have to approach Guru and Gauranga through Guru and Nityananda Prabhu. All the Gurus in Parampara gets their energy from Nityananda Ram. So without the mercy of Nityananda Ram, who is the key to the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no matter what you do, no matter how many millions of rounds you chant, you will not get anywhere if you don't have affection and love for Nityananda Ram. The teachings of Chaitanya tradition is emphatic. One who thinks that he can attain love of God without first attaining the mercy of Lord Nityananda Ram is living in a hallucination. And then comes the story of Jagai and Madhai, the two debauchees and drunkards who were delivered by Sripad Nityananda Prabhu. Mahaprabhu asked Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur to serve as his door-to-door preachers. This is where Nagar, Gram Adi, or every town and village my name will be glorified and preached came from. So Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur were the leaders of their door-to-door preaching, spreading the message of love of Godhead to every home in Navadvip. It was at this point that Nityananda and Haridas met the two brothers Jagai and Madai. They were descendants of an illustrious priestly dynasty. They were Brahma Bandhu, part of Brahman family, but had abandoned the pious ways of their forefathers for a life of debauchery. When the two emissaries of Mahaprabhu's mercy first met them, Jagai and Madai were in drunk state, creating havoc throughout the village. Nityananda felt compassion on these fallen souls and reasoned that if they could be rectified, then Mahaprabhu's mission would become even more well received in Navadvip. Because if personality is like that can be changed, that gives a very, very good reference to the glories of Harinam and the effect Harinam can have on other people. Approaching the two wayward brothers on the street, Nitai begged them to chant the holy name of Krishna and to taste the sweet nectar of Krishna consciousness. But the two villains chased Nityananda Prabhu down the road, shouting profanities and calling him foul names. Can you imagine Supreme Personality of God in Nityananda Ram getting abused, sweared at and chased by, and even though he is being Supreme Personality of Godhead, look at his tolerance. He could have just destroyed Jagai Madai like this, but he had a different thing in his mind. Madai threw a broken clay pot that came crushing down on Nityananda's divine head, causing him to bleed. Although Nityananda's body is perfectly spiritual, he manifested this pastime so that Jagai and Madai could attain liberation. See, this is another great Leela of Nityananda Prabhu. Similar thing had happened with Krishna when he showed blood coming out from his body at the battlefield of Kurukshetra. That was also just to create illusion for those who don't understand and love and affection for those who understand. When Mahaprabhu heard what had happened, he became infuriated and rushed to the area himself. How could anyone harm a gentle soul like Nityananda? This was Mahaprabhu's angry voice. He was like raging hot. Summoning his divine disc, the Sudarshana weapon, which is flaming and radiant disc, hotter, billions of times hotter than sun, and more, very, very powerful. Mahaprabhu was prepared to kill the two repellent brothers on the spot, forcing them to taste the wrath of God. His anger, however, was assuaged by Nityananda Prabhu, who reminded the Lord that the majority of people in this age are as fallen as Jagai and Madai. In saying that, Nityananda Prabhu said to Mahaprabhu also that because most people are like Jagai and Madai, if we kill them, we will have to kill all others. But this incarnation, we are not here to waste weapons. Our weapon is Harinam. And that it is his mission to liberate them with love, not with violence. Hearing these words, Mahaprabhu was willing to forgive Jagai, but Madai, who had perpetrated the evil deed, needed to be forgiven by Nityananda Prabhu himself. Nityananda Prabhu's mercy knows no bounds, and he quickly forgave Madai for all that he had done. When Jagai and Madai saw the loving exchange between Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, observed Nityananda's forgiving nature toward them, their hearts were changed. They resolved to become devotees and enthusiastic supporters of Mahaprabhu's Harinam mission, Sankirtan Harinam mission. Seeing their sincerity, Mahaprabhu took all of their sins on his own head. For a few brief moments, his beautiful, because of Mahaprabhu's ecstasy, his beautiful golden body turned an unsightly blackish color. Indeed, when Yamaraja's assistant Chitragupt tried to tally Jagai and Madai's collective sins, he could not do so and collapsed from exhaustion. Chitragupt just went around trying to look for all the bad deeds, all the bad records they had, but every bad record was nullified. They were all wiped out just because of Nityananda Prabhu's mercy on them. After the incident with Nitai, however, Jagai and Madai set the highest standard of devotional service by constantly chanting the holy names of Krishna and instructing others in devotion to him. Jagai Madai changed so much so that they started preaching about the holy names of Krishna in their life, in their behavior. One of the really nice ways of preaching is also not by words but by your behavior, by your character, which is known as acharan preaching. If you can preach by your acharan, others can see that how your behavior is and what made your behavior, what changed you into becoming a nice, humble devotee. After Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took on the renounced order of life, sannyas, to spread the Sankirtan movement of the congregational chanting of Krishna's holy name, the two brothers moved to Jagannath Puri on the east coast of India. There, Mahaprabhu left Nityananda and proceeded on a tour of South India. That was supposed to last for 2 years. When Mahaprabhu returned, he was pleased to see that Nityananda had developed a Sankirtan movement in Puri. With the help of local devotees. However, the movement in Navadvip had been sorely neglected. It was slowing down because of not having a good leader. And at that time, Advaitacharya and Haridas Thakur, they were really old, and they were doing more of the bhajans and sadhanas. Then they could do more traveling preaching. However, the movement in Navadvip had been sorely neglected, and so in 1511, Mahaprabhu requested Nityananda, his most reliable Sankirtan commander, to return to Bengal. When Nityananda Prabhu first returned to Bengal, he began his mission in Panihati, a village north of Calcutta. For several months, he preached and gathered followers in this area until thousands chanted and danced in ecstasy. Under his supervision, it was at this time that Raghunath Das Goswami, then a young boy, approached Nityananda Prabhu as a surrendered servant. Since Raghunath was born in a wealthy family, Nityananda Prabhu asked him to hold a huge festival in which all the devotees could have as much yogurt and cheap rice as they desired. This is very popularly known in Navdvip area as Dahi Chira festival. These festivals were mostly celebrated by Nityananda Prabhu and his cowhead boyfriends who had appeared in Navdvip and other places around India as devotees in Brahmana families or some other families who later on came and joined Nityananda Prabhu. The festival at Panihati was grand success, drawing pilgrimage from miles around to participate in various ways. This naturally enhanced the Sankirtan movement and pleased Nityananda very much. See, this kind of pandal programs or large gathering programs, sometimes people don't come for these programs, they come for entertainment and other things, but they come. When they come, they get in touch with some nice senior devotees and nice preachers and they hear Sankirtan, their heart change and they learn many things from that. In Panihati, Nityananda Prabhu used the house of Raghava Pandit as headquarters, and from that there taught Krishna consciousness to the thousands of people from both sides of the Bhagirathi river, a branch of Ganges that flows in that area. From there he moved on to Varahangara, where he stayed in the house of Gadadhar Das. He transformed this small dwelling into another center for the movement. It is said that he moved the people of this area so thoroughly that even children would come from neighboring village on the school days just to join this Sankirtan movement. You know, his singing, his dancing, his Sankirtan was so intense that people would go crazy. People would miss their work, people would miss their schools just to be part of this Sankirtan, just to have a sight of this Sankirtan. After a fruitful period in these places, starting preaching centers, Nityananda Prabhu arrived in Saptagrama, a town whose inhabitants were mostly considered outcasts and untouchables by Hindu standards. As it has been very famous even now, it's quite popular. Caste Brahmanas, the Smarta Brahmanas, they regard others as untouchables, and while Krishna says it's guna karma vivagasha, not janma karma vivagasha. Chaturvarnamaya shishtam guna karma vivagasha. But caste Brahmanas, they try to prove it's janma karma vivagasha. Lord Nityananda Prabhu viewed all souls equally and spread Mahaprabhu's teachings lovingly to everyone he met. Jare dekho tari kahu Krishna upadesh, amara agya guru hona tara yadesh. Whoever you meet, whoever you see. This is what Nityananda Prabhu was doing. Nityananda Prabhu travelled on to Santipur and Navdip, where he went door to door and begged people to surrender to Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission. He carried his request to Tanajora, Baragachi, Dogayachi, Fulia and all villages on both sides of the Ganges. At Karatha, he is said to have converted no less than 1200 male and 1300 female Buddhists into Krishna Bhaktas. Nityananda Prabhu's most important followers joined him at this time. With their help, he was successful in spreading Krishna consciousness throughout Bengal. And then when Nityananda's alongside Nityananda's preaching movement, then Nityananda Prabhu got married and settled in Bengal. And when Nityananda Prabhu returned to Bengal at Mahaprabhu's request, he decided to abandon his Avdhuta status and get married. A village leader named Suryadas Sarakhel had two daughters who were great devotees. Their names were Janva and Vasudha. As qualified girls who felt great affection for Nityananda Prabhu. These two personalities, Janva and Vasudha, are direct expansions of Nityananda Balram's energy. Ananga Manjari, who is here, Ananga Manjari's expansion is Revati and Varuni. They were Janva and Vasudha. As qualified girls who felt great affection for Nityananda Prabhu, they were chosen to marry him, and he in turn reciprocated their affection. According to the poet Kavi Karnapura, the two girls were incarnations of Revati Devi and Varuni Devi, the wives of Lord Balaram. After some time, Vasudha gave birth to two children, a boy named Veerabhadra and a girl named Ganga Devi. Veerabhadra later became a great leader in a Vaishnava community and continued to spread Lord Chaitanya's teachings in the mood of his distinguished father, like son. However, soon after the birth of her two divine children, Vasudha passed away, and Janva Mata vowed to raise them as her own. As the years went by, Janva Devi developed reputation as a superlative Vaishnavi or a Vaishnava. She was so powerful in her preaching, embodying the idols of devotion in Lord Chaitanya's line. She initiated this is another biography found in some of the acharyas, that she initiated her son Veerabhadra as well as many other male and female members of the Vaishnava community. Major figures in Mahaprabhu's lineage took shelter at her lotus feet, because every great personality knew that she is not just an ordinary Shiksha Guru or Diksha Guru or just ordinary woman. She is Balram Shakti. And personalities like Narottam Das, Thakur, Srinivas Acharya and Samananda Prabhu accepted her as the most prominent Vaishnavi in Bengal. In Ekachakra, not far from his birthplace, Nityananda Prabhu established a deity of Lord Krishna. This deity form of Lord Krishna was known as Bankima Rai, accompanied on the right by the deity of Janva Devi, and on the left Srimati Radharani. The priests of this temple say that Nityananda Prabhu merged into the form of Bankima Rai to leave the earth for his eternal spiritual abode, Goloka Vrindavan. There are no other stories of Nityananda Prabhu's departure. And so this story of him merging into Bankima Rai to leave the earth for his eternal pastime is generally accepted by the Vaishnava community as the fact. Be that as it may, his presence is always felt in the presence of one's own Guru, because every Guru gets their energy from Nityananda Ram, from Sri Balaram. So when we see, that's why Hari Shastra says, Hari Tvena Samasta Sastra, Guru should be treated on the equal level as Krishna, as Balaramji. We should understand Guru is not Bhagwan, not God, but Guru is representative of God, and he is as good as God. He should be treated like that. It should be respected like that. For the Guru is considered to be living manifestation of Nityananda Prabhu's love, and his power is what gives a disciple the ability to perform devotional service and experience the bliss of devotional life. When Sri Krishna appeared some 533 years, when I'm doing this video, it's year 2020, and this was 533 year of Sri Chaitanya, Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He descended along with all of his dearmost associates. Sri Krishna's elder brother, who is non-different from him, is Sri Balaram. Just as Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Balaram appeared as Sri Nityananda Prabhu. In the words of Narottama Das Thakur, he has sang a very nice bhajan in relation to this. He says, Vajendra Nanda Jai Sachi Suta Haila Sai Balaram Haila Nitai. Nityananda Prabhu appeared in the village known as Ekachakra in the region of Radhadesh. Ekachakra is almost 3.5 to 4 hours away from Navadvip or Mayapur. On region of Radhadesh, on the 13th day of the waxing moon, in the month which occurs between mid-January to mid-February, in the Magha Shukla Paksha was Trayodasi. He was born in a Brahmin family to Adhai Pandit, who was also known as Adhai Oja, and his mother's name was Padmavati Devi. Some may ask why the associates of Lord Chaitanya were born in the regions that were considered inauspicious, or the regions, just like even in the Western world, people class different suburbs as rundown suburbs or rundown places, or in India there is some different caste or this caste area. So this is what it means here, that why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, people may consider why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, if they were all transcendental personalities, why did they appear in different regions? Or regions where the Ganges river did not flow. That was also inauspicious if people would stay away from Ganges, because Ganges was supposed to is holy river. So living close to Ganges is also considered holy. Lord Chaitanya desired that people residing in inauspicious place would all get delivered by appearance of his pure devotees there. The Vaishnavas, if they would take their birth, they appear there, then they can deliver their own area, own place of residence. As we can see through the mercy of Lord Nityananda and upon the order of Lord Chaitanya, countless numbers of people were delivered from the ocean of birth and death through his preaching of the holy names. Nityananda Prabhu is the original Sankarshan, who expands as the three Purusha avatara, namely Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Shirodakshaya Vishnu. In every other expansion, every creation we see is all part and parcel of Sri Nityananda Ram, Sri Balaramji. He serves the Supreme Lord in a variety of ways. He is considered the original spiritual master, the Adi Guru. Sri Narottama Das Thakur also has another beautiful bhajan in which he says, Nitai Karuna Habe Vraja Radha Krishna Paibe Dharo Nitayra Charana Dukhani. By the mercy of Nitai, one can attain Radha Krishna in Vrajadham. Therefore, we should grab unto the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda very tightly. We should just hold tight to his feet. And who is Nityananda's representative? Gurus and Vaishnavas. We should hold very tight the feet of all the lotus feet of all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavis. Through His mercy we shall achieve the ultimate perfection of human life. Jai Nimai, Jai Nitai. Shri Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Shripad Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga ki Jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Shriman Harinam Prabhu ki Jai.